Punk Revolution now. Hey everybody, today we are going to be reviewing Ty Segall's newest album, First Taste. Yay! Take a look at my shirt. I'm wearing a very trippy, psychedelic tie-dye t-shirt to celebrate the fact that we are reviewing an album with a lot of 60s and 70s psychedelic rock influence. So, you know, I wanted to put on a trippy shirt that kind of reminds us of the 60s. Kind of looks like we're doing a big ol' acid trip. I've never done acid before. Please do not report my YouTube channel to the police. I don't encourage acid. Please do not report my channel. Anyways, so yes, about Ty Segall. Ty Segall is an extremely prolific artist. He's been around for like a decade or something like that. And he's released like 20 albums or something crazy. It seems like he releases 2 albums a year or some crazy shit like that. And he's also kind of got a reputation for being a rock artist. Like he's releasing rock, garage rock, good old garage rock in the 2010s. You know, when everybody's like doing like experimental electronic music in the 2010s and like whatever hip hop. You know, lots of hip hop. You don't see too much good old garage rock nowadays. But Ty Segall, he's just gonna be making good old garage rock, and that's kind of his reputation. So what the hell is he doing now in 2019 after releasing like 20 albums? How is he staying interesting? We shall see right after we take a look at the freaking album cover. So this album cover is pretty cool. It's just a very red, very bold album cover, which I think fits the sound of the music a lot as well, because the music, you put your headphones on and you listen to the first track, Taste. Taste is one of my favorite favorite songs off this album. It's just, the sound is just so full. There's these synths that are just so full and so noisy and so fuzzy, and they just fill up the entire headphone, and it's just, the percussion is fantastic, very percussive song, makes you want to dance, just a fantastic tone throughout the song, and, you know, like I said, it goes along really well with the album cover, because the album cover is red, which is a bold color, and this song is also a really bold color, the way it fills up the sound so much. So, really fantastic first track, and one thing I gotta point out about this song, and a lot of this album, is this song, I don't think it has any guitars in it, which is really freaking cool, because he's a rock star making garage rock with no guitars. I mean, this song and this album fundamentally is still a garage rock album, but he's barely using any guitars at all, which is something you don't hear from Ty Segall very much at all, I don't think. So this is kind of some experimentation for him, and he's certainly experimenting a lot throughout this album. So that's pretty cool. You know, good for him for experimenting. You know, I feel like you kind of have to experiment a bit to stay interesting after releasing like 20 albums. So, you know, pretty cool. And I love the way, you know, it sounds, but fundamentally, even though I love the first track, if we're talking about the album as a whole, not necessarily super captivated by it. I feel like he does a fantastic job on the first track, but just as I keep listening through it, it's just like, it kind of just sounds like an album that's very heavily influenced by the Beatles, hence the psychedelic woo woo woo, which is perfectly fine. I like the Beatles and all, but like, it's 2019. I'm not in the mood to listen to an artist kind of like mediocrely just kind of rehash ideas from the 60s and 70s. And there's a fucking fire truck driving by, so I can barely fucking hear myself when I'm talking, so I can't even review this fucking video. Anyways, I think it's past. So, you know, it just kind of gets a little dull. Like, I can see he's experimenting here. I mean, the very fact that he's barely using any guitars is, in fact, experimentation. And he's a little bit manic in his vocals, and he's got a flute that comes in. So, it's, you know, he's experimenting. But I guess the fundamental problem with the experimentation is it's experimentation that's not very experimental in the sense that it's experimentation we've heard before. So, I just kind of wish it was more experimental, and I just kind of wish maybe he played around more with like some more noisy sounds with the synth. I don't know. It's just a good album. I'm giving it a 6 out of 10. And that's kind of the thing with Ty Segall, is he releases a lot of albums, and a lot of them are perfectly good albums, but I've never been really blown away by his songwriting. He's never released an album that's really blown me away. They're all pretty good albums. This one kind of follows that pattern as well. Maybe he should focus a little bit more on releasing more cohesive albums that are just really fucking good, rather than, you know, focus on quality over quantity, as I guess you could say is what I'm trying to say. Or maybe he's not doing that because he just makes a fucking ton of money off every fucking album he releases, so he's like, fuck it, I'm gonna release as many albums as possible, which is why we need a punk revolution now, by the way. So that's all I got for you. Thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the album. Go smoke a big old joint and listen to the album. Shh, don't report me to YouTube for saying that. And thanks for watching Punk Revolution now.